Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be reacting to the history of the AFL, the teams from 1897 to 2019. Okay, so it's crazy that thinking that AFL has been around since 1897, because I've never actually heard of this AFL before till like last month when I started reacting to it. But I'm pretty sure it's been around much more longer than 1897. But that's just what I think. So let me know down in the comments below if that's true or not. And let's see what the history of this AFL teams actually is. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe as it truly helps me out. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. AFL history. That's it.
The AFL began life as the VFL, or the Victorian Football League, back in
VFL.
1897. The
Okay.
inaugural season featured 8 teams, all located in one state: Carlton Blues, Collingwood Magpies, Essendon Bombers, Fitzroy Lions, Geelong Cats, Melbourne Demons, South Melbourne Swans, and St Kilda Saints.
Okay, I do not know any of these teams. Let me know if any of these teams are what you guys actually support and if they're still around till this day. Because this, don't forget, was in 1897. That's a long time ago.
All of which are still a part of the AFL in 2019 in some shape or form. In 1908, the VFL expanded to 10 teams, with Richmond Tigers and University joining the league. While Richmond have gone on to become one of the biggest clubs in the AFL, University left the VFL just 6 years after they entered, finishing last in every season from 1911 to 1914, and losing 51 consecutive.
Wow, 51 straight losers. Seems like they were not doing well at all. I'm sorry if you support this team, but 51 straight losers is bad, like crazy, man.
Games. The VFL expanded again in 1925 with the addition of the Footscray Bulldogs, Hawthorn Hawks, and North Melbourne Kangaroos, taking the total number of teams to 12. Incredibly, the league went unchanged for the next 57 years,
Wow.
but the 1980s and 90s saw a drastic period of change.
For that many years, it was just those teams. That's crazy.
An evolution. In the early 80s, those in charge of the VFL were looking to expand outside of Victoria, and with many of the weaker teams struggling financially, change was needed. In 1982, South Melbourne relocated to Sydney in New South Wales. The Sydney Swans became the first non-Victorian team in the VFL. 5 years later, the interstate expansion continued with the addition of the West Coast Eagles from Western Australia and the Brisbane Bears from Queensland.
And the crowd down. VFL hoping for about 20,000. I doubt that they've got it, despite perfect weather. Not a bad kick. Harris has done it. The Bears get their first goal in VFL football. And what a great start for them.
With 3 non-Victorian teams now in the league, the VFL changed its name to the AFL, Australian Football League, in 1990 to represent its more national status. Further expansion occurred in 1991, with the first team from South Australia, the Adelaide Crows, joining the AFL. 1992 saw a historic moment, with the West Coast Eagles becoming the first non-Victorian team to win the premiership. The Eagles had been a huge success since their inception in 1987, and as a result,
3
the AFL
grand
decided
finals
to further expand
and 2 premierships.
with a second Western Australian team entering the league in 1995, the Fremantle Dockers. Naturally, a fierce rivalry developed between the two sides.
He could well be playing for his footy future. Again, the tempers are flying, so the players are very, very close. The kick and it's just thrown a couple. Look at this, Dennis.
Down goes Fletcher, claimed immediately, and we'll have a bounce, and again it's off. And God let one fly. Fletcher not amused either.
By 1996, many of the smaller Victorian clubs were still struggling financially, and with further expansion on the AFL's agenda, it was decided that a Victorian team must make way. Many possibilities were discussed, including a possible merger between Hawthorn and Melbourne, but this ultimately wouldn't pan out. It became clear the Fitzroy Lions would not be able to continue on its own, and at season's end, they merged with the Brisbane Bears to become the Brisbane Lions. The merger opened the gates for the Port Adelaide Power to join the AFL in 1997, the second team from South Australia following the Adelaide Crows in 1991. Much like the Eagles and Dockers 2 years earlier, a strong rivalry was born between the Crows and Power. The AFL saw no further expansion over the next decade. In the late 2000s, the AFL became interested in the idea of a second Queensland-based team, with the Gold Coast being the desired destination. Serious consideration was given to the idea of relocating North Melbourne to become the Gold Coast Kangaroos. North Melbourne insisted on staying in Victoria, however, so the AFL decided to create an entirely new expansion team. And in 2011, the Gold Coast Suns entered the league.
He fumbles, he gets around the opponent and runs in and kicks the first goal in the Gold Coast history.
The next year, the AFL expanded further into rugby league territory, with the Greater Western Sydney Giants becoming the second team in New South Wales. In 2019, the AFL consists of 18 teams located in 5 states across Australia. The Northern Territory, ACT and Tasmania are the only states or territories without their own team. Many believe that a Tasmanian team will enter the league over the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay, wow, that's quite interesting, you know. Like here, like all of Australia actually have teams except this part in the middle. But they might have till now, because this is still 2019, now we're 2022, so I'm not quite sure if they actually created a team for that part of Australia. Let me know if they did actually. It'll be interesting to find out. I guess that was it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on this as well in the comments below, and tell me what other reactions you'd actually want to watch. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video, subscribe to the channel as it truly helps me out, and we're about to reach 3K subscribers, which is just crazy. I love your support so much. That's it for today. Peace out.